Come on! Yeah!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Haynes to come back from another video. Today, we're here to preview round 7 of the NRL Touch Premiership season between the Cronulla Sharks and my boys, Sydney Roosters, Friday, 6 p.m. at PointsBet Stadium in the Shire. They're here to help me preview this game. We've got Dan representing the Rugby League Outlaws. Dan, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the channel. Pleasure to meet you. And how are you on this fine Tuesday evening?
Mate, likewise. Thanks so much for the invite. Unfortunately, Terry can't be here. He's got held back at work, or that's what he's telling everyone. Mate, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys want to, for our followers who are unaware of what you do, if you want to just briefly go and tell us what your content's about, and just introduce yourself to our viewers.
No, thanks, mate. So we do a weekly YouTube show at League Outlaws. We just we were on Punch It Media. We've actually gone just this week solo by ourselves. So we're starting again. So the slow rebuild is on, but at League Outlaws on Twitter and Instagram, all the stuff the kids use these days. We just talk. We run down what happened, what we think will happen. Our very good mates at Top Sport sponsor our tipping. So we're very, very lucky that people tune in and listen to us talk football. Obviously, Shark leaning, being big Sharks fans, but I like to think we know a little bit about rugby league, and mate, it gives me the opportunities to come on shows like this, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. I was actually, when I came up with the idea this year, I was going to do weekly previews with different content creators from respected clubs. I was going through the list. I was like, I don't have any Shark supporters, eh? I was like, where's? I don't really have any Shark content creators. I don't know. Then a couple of weeks ago, you were on my good friend of mine's Warriors NRL Fanatics preview, and I was like, bang, I found one. So, but yeah, so I finally found a Sharks fan on YouTube, or on the content game. So it's great. It's great to have you here. So we'll quickly review the last week's results. Obviously, the Sharks had the bye. I tell you what, the Sharks were really lucky to beat the bye last week. But it was a tough game. It was a tough game.
Well,
no, but look, seriously,
mate,
2 points out to the Sharks. Yeah. If you want to quickly recap the Warriors game 2 weeks ago, obviously it would have been a tough loss for you guys. But yeah, if you want to recap on that game.
Look, the first 20 minutes was good. Cronulla came out like a house on fire. It looked like we were going to race the clock, honestly. It was at the point where 20 minutes in, I took my kids down, put them in the car, came back, and I was thinking, what photo should I use this week to celebrate the win? And pretty much to the second from there, we just couldn't hold the ball. Hugely disappointing loss at home to a team with the greatest respects. We should really beat with relative ease. Mate, look, it was a good time to have the bye because the players would have stewed on that loss for, 10 plus days. And hopefully they come out against you a lot better than they did, other than the opening 20 against the Warriors. But, oh, God, so frustrating. It still angers me to hear about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. You rather have these losses now than come the back end of the season. So it's all good. Speaking of losses, my boys, the Roosters, went down to the Melbourne Storm. I was at that game in Melbourne last weekend. And look, it was one of those games where it just didn't happen for us. And it was like that with the Dolphins in round 1. Just kept dropping the ball. It was sort of similar to that Dolphins game. Keep dropping the ball. We weren't giving ourselves any chances. So obviously the Radley sin bin didn't help. But, that it is what it is. We lost. So what? We move on. An 8-day turnaround for us too. We've actually had a few big days between games. I think after this game we've got 11-day turnaround when we play the Dragons on Anzac Day. So we have a bit of we had a 7-day against against Parramatta, 7 against the Storm, and then now 8 days against the Sharks. So definitely some good rest period, and then we get 11 against the Dragons. So yeah, I did say, however, in the last video I did, that this month ahead is a massive one for the Roosters. We played Melbourne, we lost. We played Cronulla, which is never easy to do in the Shire. Then Anzac Day, we all know how good Anzac Day is. And we all know that the Dragons will turn up. And then we've got the Warriors in New Zealand, never easy, and then Magic Round. And then Penrith after. So big 6 weeks ahead. So does it feel like a must-win game for both teams, even though the Sharks are, they've had a slow start the season as well?
Yeah, absolutely it does. I mean, we should be sitting four wins at least. Three. We'll say three. Okay, Nico Hines, my boy, missed a few games, so we had a bit of an excuse there, but no excuse last week. Your boys, I tipped you guys to win the premiership, so I still think you have the players. And look, there was you guys have missed every middle forward in the game at some point, so I certainly wouldn't be worried. But yeah, I'll tell you what, the loser of Friday night's game is probably a game or two behind where they thought they'd be. And given what the results have been in the last few weeks, who knows what's going to happen in the next month or so. So, yeah, it's as close to as must-win as you can get this early in a competition. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you've seen the news this week. Have you seen our reserve grade side this week against the Newtown Jets?
I've seen your forward pack. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nathan Brown, Angus Crichton, and Dylan Napa are playing reserve grade for the Roosters against Newtown. And I believe Tupanua will be playing for the North Sydney Bears. I don't know who they're playing. But it's a good thing, though. Matt Lodge, we'll get into the team news very shortly, but Matt Lodge has returned. It's a good thing. It's a nice reinsurance that our big boys are returning. We're getting reinforcements over the next couple of weeks, so it's going to be great. And I did say this in my last preview I had last week with my good mate Norman from Sportshare TV. We said that we could have eased these guys into the team because we were winning. Now that we've lost this game against Melbourne, we can't afford to lose anymore. So is that question is like, do we rush them back into the team, or if we lose on the weekend, do we rush them back in, or we just leave them out and whenever they're ready, they're ready? What are your thoughts?
Mate, I think long term, look, even if you lose to the Sharks on Friday, it's not the end of the world. You guys can go on an 8-game win streak at the drop of a hat. So, I mean, especially Angus Crichton, who hasn't played a game since the World Cup. Matt Lodge can come straight in. He's played relatively recently. But, look, Nathan Brown's another one that hasn't played for weeks, so he needs a game. And then I couldn't even tell you last time Dylan Napa played. What, in England for someone last season? So, it looks like steady's the way to go.
Yeah, exactly right. But I think I've stalled it long enough. Let's get into the team news. I'll just get it up on screen in the moment. Some reinforcements for the Roosters. A few outs for the Sharks as well. So that doesn't help. But anyway, we'll get it on screen. If you want to go through the Sharks team, Dan, it's let's get it up on screen. It's over to you.
Absolutely, mate. So we got Will Kennedy at the back. The wingers, as always, Katoa and Ronaldo. Then in the centres, big controversy this week. Sifa Talakai has been named, although I don't think it was ever up. And then Jesse Ramian. Of course, Matt Moylan survived the chop, just Nico Hines. Up front, Royce Hunt and Braden Hamlin-Ueli will start, which is obviously missing Toby Rudolph. Blake Brayley's ever present. And, of course, our back row, which I think is our strength, is Teague Wilton and Britton Nickera. And then on the bench, mate, of course, Cam McInnes at 13, he's so small I could forget about him. I actually haven't seen the bench yet. I wanted to react to it live on here. So we're gonna do this together. Wade Graham's back. That's good news. Jack Williams, Oregon Kafusi, and Tom Hazelton. There's the one I wanted to see, mate. I'm so happy to see Big Tommy get his second game. His second game against the Roosters too. So very excited to see Big Well, they call him Tall Tom, but I call him Bald Tom just to be a little bit different. No Braden Trindle this week too, which is a surprise. But I don't know if I'm disappointed about that.
There you go. And then at the reserves there, Connor Tracy. I'm surprised Connor Tracy hasn't made it into the side. He played all right last year.
He did, but he's I love Connor Tracy, so it's hard to say. He's just not up to it. I don't know where you put him, and you can't put him on the bench. We need the big boys against you guys, and he hasn't been setting the world on fire for Newtown either. So.
Yeah, there you go. All right, into the Roosters team now, and it's the captain's back, James Tedesco, the wings, Tupou and Jackson Paulo, Joseph Akuto Suali'i at centre, and back in his usual position, Joseph Manu is back in the centres. The halves, Luke Keary, Sam Walker, Now, front row, Jared Waria-Hargreaves and Lindsay Collins, the Cheese, Brandon Smith at hooker. The Butcher brothers pack out the back row. Victor the Inflictor is at lock in our bench. Bit of a change-up this week. We've got Drew Hutchinson as the 14. The 4 white, Tell May and the big boys back, Matty Lodge. Then our reserves there. Corey Allen, thank God. Sua Wong, Paul Morosky, Jake Turp. Jake Turpin's been left out, which is a bit of a shame. And Elliot Elzakum is our 22. But yeah, look, going through it, there must be something that Drew Hutchinson is doing to Trent Robinson to be named week in, week out. I heard an interesting stat last week that he's played every game last season and he's played every game so far this year. Again, I thought Jake Turpin would be the better 14 option. I'm glad that we got 3 forwards on the bench. Drew Hutchinson is still in the side. It really gets to me. What are your thoughts on the Roosters side coming into this game? Looks pretty. It's full strength on paper. Would you have to agree?
Mate, it's pretty scary. I actually thought one of the Butcher boys was missing through HIA, so I was a little bit eager to see that. Mate, that's a strong side.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. It was Fletcher Baker. So this come out today that he got a. I didn't even know about this till today, but he got a head knock in that game against Melbourne, and he's been stood down for the 11 days. So he's unavailable for this weekend's clash, and so I think that Tell May slipped straight back in. So I guess that helps. But yeah,
but that is a strong side.
Yeah, he's a good player. I've always admired Fletcher Baker. He's been really good for us.
Oh, that's good. Drew Hutchinson's your Matt Moylan recently, but there's always a player in every club that players like fans outside the club go, he's not bad, and then the club fans don't particularly like. For years it was Chad Townsend for us, so we're glad to get rid of him. So I wish you all the best with your Drew Hutchinson problem, mate.
Yeah, look, he does have his good days and he has his bad days. Like obviously. He got called out last week in the centers, but it was one of those. Everyone played bad. He filled in and did a role for the Roosters against Parramatta when Manu was suspended, and then he scored the first try and played really well. But he does prove himself that he's a good utility player. So we all have those doubts about him, but then he just proves us wrong each week. So we'll go through some key matchups. Obviously. Will Kennedy's been one of the informed fullbacks in the competition so far this year. He scored the most tries, I'm pretty sure, and always up against James Tedesco. Two gun fullbacks right now. I'm keen for this one. Daniel Tupou v Ronaldo Mulatalo. I'm pretty sure they're going to be on the same side. They're two high flyers. What are your thoughts on these matchups? Tedesco v Will Kennedy and Ronaldo Mulatalo v Tupou.
Mate, Kennedy's been fantastic. I'm glad you said that because he doesn't get anywhere near the recognition he deserves. And I think it goes back to last year when he had a pretty iffy final series where he wasn't fit. He's had a full offseason. He's come back superstar like that he is. Other than probably the hammer, maybe, I think Kennedy's been top 5 because Latrell's been pretty good. He's been very good. But, mate, Ronaldo, on his day, can be the best winger in the game or he can be an absolute liability. We saw the worst of what he had last time against the Warriors where he ran 30 metres to yell at a reserve grader and get in his face when he scored a try. Then he dropped the ball and we ended up losing the game. So I really hope he's focused in. He's our left winger. So is Tupou on the right for you?
He's our left winger. So it would be Paulo and Ronaldo then.
Yeah, well, that actually finds me a little bit because Tupou's a freak in the air. And Katoa is not. So I know where I'd be kicking if I were you boys, or I'd be making that switch.
I remember that last year when we played this at Cronulla, we come out to a blinder. I think we just targeted Katoa. He kept dropping the ball. So I think it'll be a matchup there to be Tupou and Katoa or Tupou Ronaldo Mulatalo. But it'll be really interesting there in the battle of the wingers there. We'll go through the halves. Do you feel that without trying to be biased here, who do you think's the more stronger halves? Like, obviously, you got the Dalian player, Nico Hines, and then you got it over Sam Walker. But like Kiri and Matt Moylan, who would be the better player, and like who would you say would be the better in the halves compartment?
Mate, look, Nico's the best half of the four, but I think you got the next two. I would talk Cleary for Moylan tomorrow, full disclosure. I'm a huge Matt Moylan fan. We started a podcast based on Matt Moylan signing, so it's definitely no bias or anything. But look, I'd feel better with Trindle there, and I'd say us. But I mean, on any given day, Luke Keary can rip anyone apart. So I think you guys got a slight edge. But I think if all four halves play to their potential, I think Nico's the man. Completely biased, but I think he's the best half on his day in the competition. But he wasn't on against the Warriors, so he's due.
Yeah, whenever his wet hair is wet, he's on. That's simple as that. Whenever the wet hair is on,
hoping for rain this Friday night.
Then we're looking at the forward pack. Look at the forward pack. Obviously, like you said, Toby Rudolph isn't playing, but I think the Roosters dominate through the middle. However, you did say you do like Britton Nakora and Teague Wilton. But yeah, interesting matchups here. Do you reckon Royce Hunt is up to the chance up against Jared Reed-Hargreaves and Ueli with Lindsay Collins?
Yeah, I don't, mate. I want to hype it up, but our middle's been soft as this year, and you guys have got two of the biggest, fiercest, grubbiest forwards in the game. They're our kryptonite. I know that sounds obvious to say, but mate, if Hunt and Ueli or Hamlin Ueli can hold you guys to like a 10-8 win to you, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it looks like they're in for a big one. The forward for the Sharks, obviously. Wade Graham on the bench. Do you like him as a bench player, or would you rather have him in the back row? Obviously, he's been out, but he's been playing a lot on the bench this year. But do you rather have him through the middle on the edge, or have him come on?
Mate, definitely come on. I'm arguably Teague Wilton's biggest fan, other than those related to him by blood. So for me, our future is Teague Wilton, so we got to stick with that. Look, I want Wade to come on and play in the middle. He's been a hitman, although that didn't go real well in round one and got suspended. This is his first game back, but no, we need him to come on and own that middle. I think Ken McInnes comes off after 22 minutes maybe, and Wade Graham goes on. Yeah. I hope Wade goes straight after Victor and gets under his skin, and they that's our best hope, is to get under your bloke's skin and try and force a 13-on-12, which could very well happen. But yeah, no, I think his best role now is in short stints off the bench.
Yeah, I like it. He's always been a really good player, Wade Graham, for a long time. There's one matchup where we're missing here. It's the Master v. the Apprentice. Trent Robinson v. Craig Fitzgibbon. Fitzy, I love Fitzy. We all still love Fitzy at the Roosters, and we always want to see the Sharks do well now because Fitzy's at the helm. And it was definitely when we got knocked out by the Rabbitohs last year, we all wanted the Sharks to win it, and then it was like, yep, I don't mind the Sharks winning. Fitzy at the helm, we'd take that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this matchup, the Master and the Apprentice, between Fitzy and Robbo?
It's it's something that's really gone under the radar. I thought they'd be pumping it all week on Fox and Channel 9, but glad you brought it up. Well, I'm really excited because if anyone knows Trent Robinson's game, it's Fitz, and if anyone knows what Fitz is going to do, it's Robinson. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few text messages this week, "Oi, mate, this and that, and remember when at training and stuff." But Robinson obviously has a lot more experience at the top level over Sir Fitz. So, mate, again, if Fitz can hold it to near dry, I'd be happy. But as a defensive coach, Fitzgibbon, last year we were fantastic. This year we're diabolical. We're the best attacking team in the comp. Not now, obviously, because we've had the bye. And we got a points differential of like 7 or something. The Broncos have got like plus 100, and that was last week. So, yeah. Oh, mate, I want this game to be like 40-30 because I think that's our best shot.
Yeah. We'll get into that now. I was about to ask you that. What is the best? How do the Sharks win this game against the Roosters? Like, Roosters coming off a loss, Sharks coming off a bye. 5 of the last 6 this year have come off buys and won, including us. Penrith were the only team to lose from a bye. How do the Sharks come out and win this?
Mate, we've got to hold the ball. Like, if we hold the ball, we're in this. If we have the dropsies like we have this season, you guys will plow us through the middle and you'll get over the top of us. I mean, the middle, you guys will win the middle, so that battle's done. We've just got to hold it as close to as possible and go wide as early as possible. Talakai is destructive in attack. He has to run the ball, not twice a set, but he has to touch the ball every single set for us to be a chance. We just got to get you guys quiet and on the back foot and let Nico work his magic. Because if he has a top game, we can beat anyone on any day. But in years gone by, I'd say we have to drag you guys down into a slugfest and just hold you and smack you and try and beat you 8-6 or something. Unless it's raining sideways, and I checked the forecast before, and it's supposed to be really nice on Friday with almost no chance of rain. I think we got to outscore you. Sounds obvious, but I think we got to avoid the rock'em sock'em robot style football that we played because you guys had the wood over us recently, and we just got to outscore you. Like as I said, 40-30, 30-26. I would take if you gave it to me right now.
So, like, you're saying that you guys need to win. The only way you can win is like in a high-scoring situation.
I don't think we can hold you. I don't think we can hold you to 10 points, which is a real shame.
Yeah. Well, apart from that game against the Storm, our defense has been pretty good. You know, the Dolphins game as well, but round one. But I think it was like 12 points against the Warriors, 18 against the Rabbitohs, 20 late against the Eels, but we were 8 points with 5 minutes to go. I thought our defense has been a lot better than last year. But again, I think it's the same stuff for us. We've got to hold the ball. The two games that we've lost, our completion rate has been 61%, 65%. You're never going to win games of football with under 70% completion rate. So hold the ball, hold our discipline. Radley doesn't get sin binned, or Jared will win the game. We need him on the field, you know. And I think I'm happy this week that we've got 3 forwards on the bench with, we've got Nafua White, Tel May will play in the back row, and then Matt Lodge comes on, plays his first game since breaking his was it a cheekbone or facial fracture in round 1, so he's back. So we got forwards that come on and just battles you through the middle, which is good for us. But yeah, if we just hold the ball, complete our sets, everything should fall into place for us. Well, before we let you go, Dan, I really appreciate your time coming on tonight. What is your score prediction for tonight? You probably would have said high scoring, but what's your final score prediction between the Sharks and the Roosters on Friday night?
Well, mate, I've got to do the right thing. I've got to tip the Sharks. Full disclosure, I've tipped the Roosters in our Rugby League Outlaws tipping comp. So, but I never tip the Sharks. But I think the Roosters will win. But I'll say 28-20 to our boys. I think Nico Hines just returns to the form he showed when he came back against the Dragons. I think you guys are a fair bit better than the Dragons. So this will have to be a much better game. But yeah, mate, I see plenty of points. But if you guys lead early, it's trouble for us. So 28-20, it's there. It's going to happen. I'll be there at Shark Park. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are a little bit happier than us come Saturday morning.
Yeah, definitely. Now, unfortunately, this is the first game we're going to miss all season because it's a Friday, 6 o'clock, and I don't have enough time to finish work and fly to Sydney to fly to Cronulla. If you guys do live in Sydney and you guys do need be in the Shark Park, it's nowhere near. You could say it's like nowhere near Cronulla. Like I forgot. It starts with a W, but the suburb of Cronulla, Woolaware. That's the one. But yeah, so I just know there's no possible chance I can get there within 3 hours from flying from Brisbane to Sydney. So I have to miss this one. So I will do a live stream on here. But yeah, I think the Roosters will win. I'm going to go 32-18. High scoring for us. I think we'll just get back into the groove. And it'll be similar to the game last year where we come out and prove a statement in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And then, I think the Sharks will be in it towards about the 70th minute. Then we'll just run away with it. And I think we'll win 32-18. All right, guys, that's going to conclude our preview between the Sharks and the Roosters on Friday night. we do want to thank Dan from Rugby League Outlaws. Go check him out on YouTube and all the socials. It's really good content. Dan, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming on, and definitely enjoy the game on Friday night and make the best team win.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Go the Sharks.
Was that a fins up?
There was a fins up. We had it first, mate. And with an F, nobody hates.
The Sharks, I know. The Sharks are fins, but they're more dangerous fins, though.
That's true. Our podcast is called Fins Up, right? And the last couple of weeks, we've been copping Dolphins fans logging in and going, "Oh, this isn't Dolphin related." I'm like, "Get out of here! You guys have been disted like for 6 weeks."
No. It'd be like if we
good fun, mate.
go out and have cocks up or something.
Yeah, well, you guys had it for a while with it. So, mate, I enjoy it. It's good fun.
No, but yeah, no. The Sharks are the originals. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to follow Dan from the Rugby League Outlaws there on their social media pass. Link will be down below. We're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, it's goodbye for now.